Hey guys, Ash Lane here today. I have a little bit of a longer episode for you guys. It's going to be a full clan war recap on a recent arranged war we had over in Red Elite with 49er War Clan. Now, if you watched yesterday's episode, you'll see that 49er War Clan, we had an arranged matchup. This was a big rematch we had against the first time where they beat us by 1 star, and this time they beat us again. This time it was a tie, and it was 76.09% to 76.89%. They won the tiebreaker. Oh, a heartbreaking loss for us, but let's go over the actual war. It was a great war, and 49er War Clan, very well-known war clan, one of the best out there, especially in the United States. As I mentioned yesterday, they were one of the first clans to get to each level, clan perk-wise, in the United States, so they really know what they're doing. A great bunch of guys there. We had some nice, some friendly smack talk amongst the leaders and some of the members as well, which is a great time overall. So let me just briefly tell you what each clan's strategy was for this war before I go into too many of the replays. You know what? While I discuss our overall war strategy, let's go ahead and play one of their 3 stars. Brian is their leader, and I should give a shout out to their YouTube channel. It is YouTube Clash of Clans Gameplay, no spaces, and they do some great stuff recapping some of their wars over in 49er War Clan. So let's go ahead and take a quick look at Brian's attack, their leader, on Woody. This is one of their 3-star attacks against a Town Hall 10, against the max base at that. So you can see Brian's going to come in here with a kind of a GoWiWi type army coming in from the southwest here. So go ahead and watch this. As I describe, obviously this attack you're going to be watching before I get too ahead of myself here is going to be a open source base, open layout design, and adding a few of the witches there can be really successful against these bases, as you guys have seen in the past. You can see those jump spells were really critical placement. That way the troops don't go down the flanking sides of the base. Instead, they all stay towards the center, and then he's going to rely on his queen and the wizards and whatnot to go ahead and snipe those offensive units, or defensive units, I should say, in the side panels there of the base. And then the main force of the troops are going to go into the center. Very nice 3-star attack, and you can see it's going to be a real overpowering attack. He had a lot of troops left standing at the end of this one. So the 49er War Clan, they made all their Town Hall 10 bases strong anti-3 layouts, and they had all their Town Hall 9s, obviously anti-3 layouts as well, and they had the 1 Town Hall 10 advantage. Now, we had 3 Town Hall 9.5s, so in the arranged match, we gave them 1 more 10, so 1 more base with Inferno Towers to try to even that out because we had more offensive firepower. And that ended up, they did a really smart thing actually there. What they did was they went all anti-3 bases and were really banking on if they were able to 2-star all our 10s and we were able to 3-star, and they were able to 3-star all our 9s, excuse me, that they would win by 1 star, because that would be, they would have the anti-3 bases and we'd be unable to 3-star their Town Hall 10s. At least that was their thinking, and it actually ended up working pretty well for them. So we had a lot of struggle trying to 3-star their really good base designs for anti-3s, and most of their Town Hall 10s are maxed or very close to, so it's not like we could drop down too far and go after some of their lower level guys for 3 stars. But anyway, I'm going to bring you a mix of Town Hall 10 and Town Hall 9 replays. In this war, you can see Skeeto was our first 9.5, and we had Jackson 9.5, and we had Blazer. Where the heck is he? He's a 9.5 as well. So they 3-starred all our 9.5s all the way down, and we did the same on their side. And I'm going to go ahead and show you. I'm going to mix in the Town Hall 9 replays, guys, because usually I do all Town Hall 10s and then Town Hall 9s, but I just want to cover a couple of their attacks on us first, just because I just want to change things up. So, against this base here, it's an anti-3 layout, obviously. All the 9s have strong anti-3 bases, at least we thought so going in, right? So this is Boob's base. And the attacker Cy Young 2.0 is going to go ahead and hog it. Now, I'm going to tell you guys right off the bat that the double giant bombs, there's obviously a few areas they could be. A smart thing to do that a lot of defenders are doing lately is put the giant bombs opposite the queen, and that's exactly what Boob does. And you can see the double giant bombs are going to be all the way up here in the northeast, south of that gold mine and south of that expo. And the idea behind that is to not allow the golems and the heroes in the first phase of the attack to take out the clan castle, the queen, and go ahead and detonate those giant bombs. But Cy Young doesn't really care about the double giant bombs, the two sets of double giant bombs, mind you, because what he's going to do is come at this base from an angle where he's not going to have to detonate two giant bombs at the same time. As a matter of fact, he's not going to worry about detonating any of those giant bombs till the very end of his hog portion of the raid. So he comes in exactly from the area where he should have. He came in from the southwest there. And what that's able to do is the hogs are able to take out almost all the base before they run into those giant bombs. And at that point, he's still going to have some his queen and the wizards left on the board. So it's actually going to be a really nice attack here. Really difficult sometimes hogging a base where there's two sets of double giant bombs. It's obviously just difficult to navigate around for many attackers here. So here we go. He's going to start running into the giant bombs right now. So they just triggered one right there with one group of hogs. That's why he deployed the hogs as such, so that they were able to go ahead and not all clump up. So he deployed them in a nice arc, a nice, I guess, a V-shaped type of formation there. So I think that was a misplace on the poison spell there, as there are no skeletons on the board. Maybe he just wanted to get rid of it. Either way, doesn't matter there. So he's able to take out the last cannon, and you're going to see in just a second here, finally the hogs are going to run into the giant bombs, but it's just only one hog by himself. The other hogs took a detour to that gold storage, and that's really going to make up the difference in this raid. Those other hogs will stay alive, and they will be able to take down these last units. If all the whole group of hogs had ran up into that giant bomb, they would have all died, and I'm not sure he would have had enough time to pull it off. But either way, a really nice attack there by Cy Young. So let's go ahead and go to our side. Now, a little bit of the story arc to this war is that I was able to pull off a 3-star against a max base for the first time ever, mind you, against the anti-3 layout, and for the first time ever for myself against a max base. I've pulled off some 3-stars against 10s before. As you guys know, if you're fans of the channel, I bring them to you every time because, hey, you gotta brag sometimes, right, guys? But what I wanted to do here is show you how I came up with this plan. So it's going to involve, first you can see I failed on a 3-star attempt. Right after that, I kind of had a big head, a little ego going on, and I failed shortly thereafter my 3-star. I followed up with a dismal 3-star attempt afterwards. That is more like it, more par for the course for Ash. But anyway, let's go ahead and find the attack by Woody. It's around 18 hours. I wrote that down so I wouldn't have to kill too much. Okay, so here it is. A 99% attack against Brian, their leader. So here it is. You can see definitely a pretty good base, right? So it's certainly intimidating. It's max, and at least if you're a guy like me, you're intimidated by a base like this. Certainly don't have any high aspirations of 3-starring this base, but Woody actually hit it with a GoWiWi. It's not a 3-star attack, especially not against an anti-3 base. But he was able to come up with a plan that just worked really well. So pay special attention to these golem, the deployment configuration here, and you'll see that they kind of come in from the northwest in a pretty decent spread here. I believe 1, 2, 3, 5 golems he's using there with the double jump. And then he's going to use 2 rage spells. He's going to use the first rage right off the bat when engaging the clan castle, and the second rage is going to be for the middle there for the archer queen engagement. And he has that one free spell that he's going to use just coming out pretty soon here on that Inferno Tower. Now, when I attacked this base, I made some pretty big alterations. I kept the same exact entry point on the attack, but what I did was I decided to take away a golem and add some hogs and take away 1 rage spell and use a heal spell to try to keep the hogs alive. And as with all 3-star attacks, it was a little bit of luck and a little bit of just skill and learning from Woody's attack here, and I was able to pull it off. I'll show you that one right after this one. So you can see Woody brings plenty of minions. He starts sniping on the sides because at this point in his head, he's got to be saying, wow, I think with this 2-star army, I think I might have a shot here at 3-star attacks. Woody's a great attacker, and he's done this actually a few times. I've actually brought you, God, it was probably a couple months ago, but another attack Woody did like this. Just a regular 2-star attack, and he actually, with GoWiWi, a similar type of army composition here, and he actually pulled off a 3-star attack. So he's done it in the past, and at this point, things are looking pretty good. He has a golem still standing there, but the golem gets stuck on a wall. Unfortunately, the queen goes around. He has to use the ability, and then he's just going to get kind of unlucky there with the Inferno Tower locking onto the queen while she locks onto the storage, and she goes down by a mortar hit, and ouch, just so close there, so close, but time's going to actually run out, and he's going to go ahead. We'll end it right here, but those skeletons die, and it's just a mortar and an elixir storage. Actually, the mortar goes down, but the elixir storage is left standing. So 99%. So I looked at that raid, studied it for a while, and then I start overthinking the whole thing to myself, right? I'm like, okay, well, what if I add... At first, I was like, what if I add just 6 hogs and I send them in back end? But then I thought to myself, you know what? I don't think 6 hogs are going to be enough against these max defenses. They might kind of just flutter out, and it might be like a 70% attack. So what I ended up doing was dropping a witch as well. Woody brought 1 witch, and he brought 223 in his clan castle. So my thought process was to go ahead and add... to subtract a witch, subtract a golem, and subtract a bunch of wizards. So I think I dropped like 3 or 4 or 5 wizards. And what I'm going to do is deploy almost all my wizards, as a matter of fact, as you can see right there, right off the bat. So I don't have any snipe team as far as wizards go, because I'm using them all right now because I need a lot of firepower to enter this base, because I'm bringing all those hogs for the back end, and I don't have that golem anymore, that 5th golem that Woody had. So I use my first rage spell right about now. I'm going to use my freeze spell a little bit earlier than Woody did. Use my freeze spell right there, and then real soon here, as soon as those cannons in the south there are distracted by that golem, I'm going to send the hogs in. So my eyes right now are on those cannons. Cannons are distracted, and then here come the hogs. Now, I guess the best thing that I did in this whole attack, if I had to look back in hindsight, was I held off the heal spell. A lot of people would be tempted to send that heal spell a little bit more towards the cannons, but maybe even in hindsight, I should have put it a little bit more to the east, so there was covering both of those Inferno Tower, excuse me, the Teslas there. So that really worked out for me. The hogs actually make their way. They clear out that whole southern unit. Then I have some wizards alive. At this point, I'm deploying all my minions. Things are looking all right. At this point, it's really going to depend. The hogs all die, and I still have a few golemites standing on the board, and they're actually distracting that archer tower and the wizard tower right now. So my only fear at this point is that cannon's going to take out my queen. I have plenty of wizards and minions and cleanup on the board right now, but I'm really depending on that queen to stay alive to take out that cannon, because I don't really have anything else to do it. I have the minions, but I'm not sure they have enough. One minion gets taken out right there by that air bomb, but luckily the golems go ahead and they head south first, clearing a way for my queen. Things are looking really good right now. Queen's going to go ahead and take out the rest of the base. And there it is. I got a 3-star. Yay! Obviously, a really good feeling when it happens, and it doesn't happen too often, so I got to savor the moment. So let's go ahead and go to our next attack here. It's going to be, we did pull off 2 3-star attacks against Town Hall 10s to their 1, and that was the reason that we ended up tying the match. The other 3-star attack was by Bob. As I mentioned, they all had anti-3 bases, but you can see this Inferno Tower up here in the northeast of this base is a little vulnerable, and that's what Bob thought too. So his plan was going to be take out the enemy queen, take out the enemy Inferno Tower, and hopefully with the Inferno Tower down, with the queen down, clan castle down, he'll have enough off the map that he'll be able to go ahead and GoLaLoon from there. And as you guys know, if you're able to take out 2 air defenses, or at least 1 air defense, and an Inferno Tower, well, that allows you to only have to carry 1 freeze spell, and then if you're using 2 rage, 2 haste spells, as Bob is doing here, you're actually not losing too much spell-wise. As you can see, he needs a jump to access that inner compartment there. So there is a dragon, a few goblins, and a couple balloons in the clan castle. Not going to be that big of a deal for his troops. He does have max heroes coming in there, and they're going to take down the clan castle troops pretty quickly, pretty decisively. Takes down the queen as well. Uses the Barbarian King Iron Fist ability, and now at this point it's just going to be a matter of time before that Archer Queen, the attacking Archer Queen, takes down that Inferno Tower. When that happens, Bob is sitting pretty at this point. So at this point in the war, just to let you in on when this happened and what we were thinking, when we see Bob take down 2 of the air defenses there, we're feeling pretty good. I'm not going to lie, because at that point in the war, we had a pretty decisive advantage in attacks used, and we had like a 1 or 2 star lead. But what ended up happening, and this is why it was such a good move on their part, is we had like 15 to 16 attacks left, and we just couldn't 3-star any of their anti-3 designs. That's really what it comes down to. So in the end, we not wasted, I shouldn't say, but well, we did waste. And we had a little strategic error, I guess, and it was partially, I guess I take all the blame for it, but what we did was we concentrated a little bit too much on trying to 3-star all their bases, and instead, with the new tiebreaker system, we really should have been going over the bases that we didn't get a lot of percentage from. That was really something that, in hindsight, we really should have played differently. Against, for example, on their number 1 base, we had 50% 2-star attack. What we should have done is used a few attackers to go ahead and clean up those, not clean up, but get more percentage on those bases. Even if they had gotten 1 star but more destruction done, that's actually preferable because it would have bumped up our possible tiebreaker scenario. And unfortunately, the real GOAT of this war, I won't name him, but we only had 69 out of 70 attacks used. One of our guys didn't use both of his attacks. That is really something that we pride ourselves in Elite Nations, so it's really disappointing, especially when we lost by such a wide percentage margin. That could have been a difference maker. I don't think it would be, because 0.6% is still a decent amount, but hey, you know, every bit counts and you never know, so something in hindsight that, geez, I wish we could have gone back and done to see how close we could have made it. But hey, what are you going to do? Happens, right? It's part of the game. So let's go ahead and cover a couple Town Hall 9 attacks just to end off this this war recap. Like I said, a little bit of a longer episode. Hope you guys enjoy this format. I know most of my episodes range from 5 to 10, 15 minutes, but this one will be a little bit longer. Hope you guys enjoy. So you can see Morphus was one of our all-stars in this war by far. He has 2 accounts, a Town Hall 9 and a Town Hall 10, and he single-handedly 3-starred 3 of their max, or very close to max, Town Hall 9 bases, and this is what he used. He's a real good hog attacker. Morphus also has an account in the Clash with Ash clan. Farms so hard. Some of you guys may have known him from a lot of my previous Town Hall 8 replays. You can see he snuck in some hogs from the south there to detonate some of the double giant bombs, and he's just a real expert hog raider. He's really able to look over a map in a way that not a lot of attackers can, and really plan out detonation of all the giant bombs, and then really he has this really great method of knowing how to trickle in the hogs, 2, 3, 4, 5 at a time. That way they can encompass the entire base and cover it, take out a lot of those defensive units, so without dying all at once. So he has a really good eye for mitigating splash damage and just executing the hog raid in general. So this is an example of that. So really good job here by Morphus. Go ahead and speed things up a little bit here as the hogs do the rest of the heavy work there. He has a ton of hogs left on the board, as you can see, and he brought some goblins and whatnot for cleanup. The queen was still alive. Really nice attack there by Morphus. And lastly, I want to bring this attack here by Blazer. No, not by Blazer, excuse me. I want to bring the attack by... Blazer had a really cool attack, but he is a 9.5, so with the extra spell, I figured it wouldn't be fair to let you guys think that you could pull it off when you did have the extra spell slot there. So anyway, this attack by Joy, you will want to notice the hero levels on Joy. Very low, but she does great work with them. She's certainly one of our best attackers, even with those low heroes, and she just proves time and time again that you don't need max heroes to pull off these great 3-star attacks at Town Hall 9. So you can see she's going to come in from the north there. Couple golems, another GoLaLoon strategy with the 2 rage and the 2 haste spells, very reminiscent of the type of attack that Bob pulled off out against the Town Hall 10, obviously minus the Inferno Towers and minus the free spell, obviously. So you can see the king is doing a pretty good job here, takes out the enemy queen, is now off the board, and here comes the air portion of the attack. With the queen so vulnerable like that against the side, I mean, there is a pro and a con for the defender, right? The pro is that you can really dictate where the attacker is going to come in from. That way you can overload giant bombs and possibly air traps in different areas than where they're going to enter the base. But you can see here, in this case, all the air traps all in the center there, really protecting that air defense that was centralized on this base. So it's not an awful base design, but you can see that Joy was really able to navigate it pretty well there with her, she still has a Lava Hound left on the board, and just really nice planning here. She's going to sneak in that balloon there from the east, and it was pretty unfortunate that it goes down there by that bomb, because otherwise it would have been a perfect deployment, a perfect holdback of a balloon. When you can distract a defensive unit such as that wizard tower from the weak side, man, that's a huge advantage on the back half of these air raids. I always recommend holding back 1 or 2 balloons at least. So there we have it, guys. That's going to be the war recap. I just want to give a huge shout out to everybody in the 49er War Clan. It was a great war, and it was really classy on both sides. There was some smack talk, but it was certainly all in good fun, and came out with a lot of mutual respect just like after the first match we had for one another. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate all the support you guys have been giving me. The channel is growing really nicely, and it's really thanks to all you guys. You guys have been absolutely fantastic, and I just continue to express that I cannot thank you guys enough. So anyway, guys, have a good day, and thanks for watching this episode to the end. You guys must be the hardcore fans of the bunch. I really appreciate it, and take care. Hey guys, thanks for watching my video. I wanted to give you 3 quick ways you can help the channel out. Number 1, subscribe if you're not already. It really helps me. Number 2 is give a thumbs up, like the video. Number 3, continue to tell your clanmates about my channel. It really helps, and I really appreciate it. And also social media. You can find me, follow me on Twitter at @clash_with_ash. Also, follow me or find me on Bindle at #ClashWithAsh. And don't forget to visit my website, www.clashwithash.com. Take care, guys.